Alrighty, and welcome to the Recovery Revolution live stream on YouTube. and Facebook. My name is Carl, one of the co-hosts of this stream, along with Brett Morris and Ashley Grimes. We want to welcome you to today's show, and a wonderful show we have lined up for you with our guest, Mike Paddleford, who hails from the state of Maine. So let's give Mike a warm welcome to the Recovery Revolution live stream. Mike, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. It's good to have you on the show, man. So how are things up in Maine? You said you were getting ready to deal with a little snowstorm coming in, or?
Yeah, it should have started by now out there. We're getting about 10 inches overnight, and then it'll warm up and probably melt off tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah, and you when is lobster season up there, man? Because that's when I want to go to Maine.
You know, that's one industry in Maine that I haven't had my hands in. If you want to talk about potato farming in northern Maine, I've been there.
Well, that was my next question. Funny you should say that. Well, man, welcome to the Recovery Revolution live show. And as everybody knows, we are streaming now on YouTube, which is our primary source of streaming that we're going to be moving over to. So we're going to take care of a little housekeeping right now. For those of you that are joining us on Facebook stream, in a few weeks, we are going to be moving over to our new YouTube channel, which we are streaming on today. And we want to thank everybody for joining the stream with us today. So if you go on to Facebook, what's going to happen is on the Recovery Revolution Live and all the other groups that we send our message out to, we're going to have a link over to our YouTube channel. So right now we're trying to build that YouTube following. We're trying to get as many subscribers and likes and followers as we can on YouTube, which is going to help build our channel. We do a fantastic job on Facebook, but right now we want to try to focus on getting that, having a lot of you guys transfer over to the YouTube channel as well. So thank you very much for taking the time this evening to join us. And as always, we have a wonderful show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking a lot of recovery. We're going to be talking to Mike about his ventures. One of them is Recover Loud on YouTube. He has a channel there where he does his shows, and also the Recovery on the Road, which is we're going to learn more about. And he also works in a rehab center, it looks like. Are you working in a rehab center as well, Mike, as a recovery coach?
I work for an MAT program as a recovery coach.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Okay. So, and for those of you that are unfamiliar what MAT stands for, that stands for medically assisted treatment. And it's one of the ways that we in the professional industry use as a tool to help people when they struggle with opiate abuse or alcohol abuse. So there's a few different ways you can go on to MAT treatment. So we'll dive into that with Mike as well. He can talk a little bit about that. And yes, JR, thank you for joining us, our fearless leader, Mr. Weaver. We want to thank you for giving us the ability to get this party started today. Thank you for all of your support, man. We really appreciate you. So Mike, tell us, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great. One thing I always say is, it doesn't matter how bad today gets. I'm grateful to be here.
Absolutely.
I use the hashtag this over that, because regardless of what happens, it's better than any day that I was ever using.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just got done doing an interview with Shane Raymer from That Sober Guy podcast, and we were just talking about the same thing, like, being present for today and how that, all this stuff that we've gone through and our addictions and all this other stuff, and to be present in the moment right now that's really the blessing that I think that recovery has given me. And I'm sure Ashley and Brett can probably chime in on this. Ashley is still muted. So there we go, Ashley.
Oh, I'm just unmuting us because
okay.
I'm having computer problems. I have 0%, so it's beeping every once in a while. So as you're talking, I don't want you to hear the beep, so I'm muting.
That's okay. That's okay. I don't mind.
We don't want you to think we're censoring you tonight, Carl.
You do know. the temperature here in Florida today, since you were talking about cold.
Yeah.
It was almost 80.
Oh,
You know,
Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for you.
we'll get there in July.
Yeah, it'll be about 100 here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and with that humidity too, but Maine gets a lot of humidity also, man. You guys, it's pretty humid in the summertime up there, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it's 80 degrees and humid, and that's about the worst of it, but it doesn't last long.
It doesn't last long, and then the cold fronts come in, and do you get a lot of snowfall up there?
Where I'm living now, it's not so bad. We just had a nor'easter come through last week and dropped, maybe a foot. But that's not normal for this area. I'm from up north, actually, in Aroostook County, and there, it averages 10 feet a year. So it starts snowing late November and it doesn't stop until March or April.
Oh, okay.
So I have a question for you. Since you're from Maine, are you part of MeRap at all?
Actually, my wife is an organizer with MeRap. I support MeRap and do as much as I can. I'm friends with a lot of the members, and I try to get involved. But I have a lot of things going on myself, and just to take the commitment was hard for me. But they're a great group, and doing a lot of positive things for the state.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to MeRap since we're and your wife for being an organizer.
Yeah, it's a great group of people.
Yeah, and so Ashley, what is MeRap? I'm unfamiliar with this term, oddly enough.
So RAP is the Recovery Advocacy Project. That's how me and JR always talk about mobilized recovery.
Yeah.
So the RAP teams, the state organizing teams, went to Mobilize, which is a project from the Voices Project. And so Maine, because their abbreviation's ME, so they're MeRap. I wish Florida had a cool name like that, but I'll just be jealous.
Yeah, and I am. They consider me an honorary member. Just because, like I said, I will get involved. We are supporting this legislative session. We're pushing to expand the Good Samaritan law here in Maine. And my Facebook group, Recovery on the Road, has joined MeRap and a lot of other groups in pushing for the expansion. Right now, we have an okay Good Samaritan law. And for those that don't know, the Good Samaritan law protects an individual that has overdosed, as well as somebody who calls 911 from a short list of charges, just to encourage somebody to call for help. We've experienced a lot of overdose deaths, unnecessarily, because people are afraid to call for help. And this expansion would open it up to cover, more than just those two people for, all nonviolent crimes, just to encourage people to call for help and, stop some of these senseless deaths.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys have all teamed up together. They're a powerhouse, and I'm sure your organizations are as well. So that's exciting.
Yes, thank you.
I'm cheering for y'all.
Yeah, and that's coming up to the legislature in a week. So we've been working hard for the last couple months trying to get the word out there, and honestly, just educating people that there is a Good Samaritan law, we found has been important, because a lot of people don't even realize that. Back in 2018, when I finished using, before that there wasn't one. It wasn't enacted in Maine until 2019. So back when I was using, nobody talked about calling for help. It was all about protect yourself, make sure you don't lose the kids, make sure you don't get arrested, make sure. And today you don't have to do that. You don't have to worry about that. So.
Yeah, it's coming a long way. It's taken a while, but there's very passionate people, and a lot of people don't understand how much time that takes. I mean, I'm sure you guys have been boots on the ground talking to anyone that will listen, and a lot of grassroots in each individual community. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah, and Maine Recovery Advocacy, they're responsible for writing a lot of letters to the editor, getting letters out to the legislatures to help support our cause. And, they've gained a lot of ground in just the last year and a half. I think they've been in existence up here. So, yeah, I'm happy to support them.
Absolutely. Sorry, guys. I am having the worst time with my computer. It freezes. Am I coming through okay? Like verbally?
Your audio
Yeah, you
sounds
sound fine.
It sounds fine. Okay. It's a trip. I feel like I'm on acid.
Can you guys hear my beeping?
No, we can't hear your
I
beeping.
haven't yet.
Oh, that's good.
No. Now Ashley is frozen and it looks like she's just winking at me uncontrollably. Ashley.
Well,
Yep,
she's not frozen
that's-
on my end.
So inappropriate.
It's not happening.
Oh my
Part of
god.
your hallucination.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, great, man. Sorry, I was kind of distracted during that whole thing because my computer is like wigging out on me. Holy goodness. Okay, this is gonna be fun.
I would love to hear about, you said you work, was it a MAC clinic that you said?
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about it and, some of the stigma that you're used to hearing about and, some of the reasons why that stigma doesn't help people?
Yeah. And honestly, when I was using, I work for a Suboxone clinic. And when I was using, I had my own ideas about, Suboxone and recovery. And, I didn't quite believe that people were trying when they were on Suboxone. And, it was because of the people I'd seen, the ones I had seen, obviously, they weren't doing the right things if I was around them, but once I went into a detox and it got explained to me, the importance of Suboxone and how well it works for people like me, I decided to try it. It was easy for me before that to go ahead and relapse. It was I still had that obsession to go out and use, even though I really didn't want to. So when I went into the detox and they explained it to me, they explained the changes in my brain that opiates had done over so many years and how, this medication can help me turn it around. So I went onto an MAT treatment, and then I went into a rehab. And throughout that rehab, I was able to learn all the things that they were trying to teach. I was able to focus on getting better, looking at my personality defects, and really worked on myself. I wasn't so focused. I wasn't obsessed with trying to feed that hunger, and that demon in my brain. So when I got out of the rehab, I continued on that and I keep working, I attended 12-step meetings. I did everything I could to keep moving forward. And, I had a lot of adversity the first couple of years of my recovery. I was actually kicked out of every program that I ever went into. The rehab, I got kicked out of there after 3 months. Sober living, I got kicked out of there after 3 months. And, I ended up living in my car, towards the end for the last 8 months. And through all that adversity, the only thing that I held on to was I don't want to use, and so anyway, this medication and the program around it really helped keep me focused on not using. So eventually I decided to take a recovery coach training class. And, I thought it was educational, and I might learn something. I may be able to help somebody down the road, but I really didn't take it as a serious venture for me. I didn't imagine that the recovery coach position is anything that could make me money and make me want to, I was doing hard labor. When I was using, I worked on a farm. I shoveled snow off the roofs. I lived in northern Maine life, and, that's a tough life. And I couldn't imagine myself sitting in a doctor's office, talking to people on the phone. But then I got offered a job after I took that first class, and just being able to see a difference in somebody's life, because I was able to talk them through a situation, that I was hooked. That has become, honestly, a new addiction for me almost, helping people. I know that there's programs out there that work, and I'm going to share it with everybody that needs to hear it so that they don't stay stuck in the darkness of addiction. So I'm happy to be where I'm at. The program I work for has 700 clients in the state of Maine, and we're working every day to help them gain good recovery time. Recovery is a process, and eventually, sobriety might be a goal, total sobriety, but recovery, there's nothing like it. And I can do all the things that I do today because of my recovery. And it all started with medication, because I couldn't control it myself, and I love to recover loud because, as I said, I grew up in northern Maine. That's where my addiction was rampant, and there was no help for me. I couldn't find anybody in recovery. I couldn't find a program. I couldn't find somebody to talk to. But I found out in southern Maine, there was a recovery community that supported everyone that wanted to try and loved everyone who couldn't do it. We love people who do drugs because they can find recovery. We try to keep people alive so they can find recovery, support them today and encourage recovery tomorrow. That's what I get to do. And I love it.
I think that's great, because honestly, do you really love somebody if you don't? Love isn't based on actions or what someone's doing, or, love is based on you either love people or, you don't. So, loving people while they're using, loving people when they get better, they're still the same people. It's just the actions behind.
Yeah. We're good people who make bad choices, and, in the beginning it was a choice. Later on, our addiction took over. We didn't have that choice. But we're still good people. We're still worth living. We're still worth loving. But when people give up on us, when people look down on us, when people shame us for dealing with a sickness that we have just because they don't have it, who does that help? It just hurts too many people. So we can talk about it now or later, but I started a TV talk show, Recover Loud, to help end the stigma of addiction. We are trying to break through to the people who don't understand, that this isn't a life that we chose to do. We might have been teenagers trying to hide from some trauma that we went through, and we got caught up in this sickness and didn't know how to stop it. And then here, waking up 20 years later at 42 years old, I didn't want to live like that. And it wasn't until I was 42 that I found a way out. And, if I can help point somebody in the direction before they have to suffer for 20 years, I'm going to take that chance, So I recover loud. Recovery is possible. There are ways to do it. It's not easy. Nothing happens immediately, but it's worth it.
Have you noticed any stigma within the recovery community towards Matt? And have you, personally, and what would you say to them if you had?
Yeah. And actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I experienced stigma almost immediately within the recovery community, because even though we were going, as at the rehab I went to, we would go to AA meetings 4 nights a week. There was one NA meeting, and we would go to these meetings, and most of us are sitting there on MAT. I was sitting there on MAT, and everybody's talking about, you know, if you're not completely sober, you're not sober, you're not, um, it made me sit back in shame, you know. Those anonymous programs weren't accepting of me in that position I was in because I wasn't sober in their eyes, you know. I went to my first home group business meeting, and the topic was MAT, and everyone there had an opinion that MAT was not, you know, recovery. And, you know, I'll admit maybe that's not sobriety, but it's absolutely 100% recovery. You know, I'm doing better today because of it than I was doing, you know, 3 years ago when I didn't have it. And, you know, like I said earlier, I couldn't focus on working on myself. I couldn't focus on getting better. My addiction brought me to a place where I traded my vehicle, you know, for a 20-minute high and had to walk for the next 5-6 months because I couldn't afford a vehicle to replace it. You know, now I've got a car that's, you know, the newest car I've ever had. I bought it with 30,000 miles on it. You know, I used to look for something that had 30,000 miles left, you know, and if it made it that far, I was lucky, you know. So I couldn't have done that, you know, when I was using, but on MAT, here I am, you know. It's brought me to a place where I can do better tomorrow than I did yesterday.
Well, I love that you're recovering loud, because we need more voices like yours, because the definition of recovery is not the same definition as sobriety. Right. And we're losing too many people to ignore the fact that recovery is amazing and should be celebrated no matter what the pathway to recovery is.
Exactly. And, you know, seeing recovery as a destination, I think, is part of the problem that some people have. You know, recovery is a process. You know, when I decide that I'm going to start doing better, I can say I'm in recovery, and it's up to me. You know, you're in recovery when you say you are. And, you know, once I make that decision, I can say that. And, you know, my journey may lead me to complete sobriety. That may be what I want to do in the future. But it doesn't have to start with sobriety. You know, those anonymous programs, they start sobriety. They start your recovery on day one of quitting using. But what do you do to stay from using for the rest of the 3, 4, 5 years? You know, a lot of people white knuckle it. You know, whatever it takes, though. You know, I don't want to put down an anonymous program because it works for a lot of people, but it didn't work for me. And staying anonymous didn't work for me. You know, and that's why I recover loud, because those anonymous programs were a mystery to me. You know, nobody talked about it. Nobody told me that. I found out more people that I have for friends today. You know, I found out that they've been in recovery for years, but I never knew it. You know, I knew that they didn't drink or use drugs, but I didn't know it was because they were in a program, you know. And had they told me that, you know, maybe I would have asked where the meetings were. Had they told me that the meetings were on Thursday nights, maybe I would have gone and tried to find one. You know, I can't say that I would, but not knowing, I absolutely did not try. You know, I had, at 40 years old, I laid in my bed crying on my birthday because I was living in a trap house, neglecting my daughter, missing my son who lived 8 hours away from me in high school. And I was broke and sick, and I had no idea what I was going to do. And, you know, I wanted to celebrate my 40th birthday. From the time I was a 10-year-old kid, I used to look forward to 40. And I got to 40 and there was nothing to look forward to. You know, so here I am today at 45, and I look forward to every morning, you know, and it doesn't matter what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm still going to enjoy it, you know, because the alternative is I could be dead. You know, I could be sitting in jail, or I could be worried about getting my next fix, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you. And it sounds like you've done a lot of the work, which is part of recovery. And it doesn't matter which program. Every program's great in its own way for the person that it works for.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I've had to come a long way with a lot of the pathways, but I've watched too many of my friends die. I'm sick of seeing my friends die. And, I honestly don't even know how to deal with it, other than turning around and trying to help the next guy, um, showing them all that there is life, um, we see a lot of people in recovery today who are afraid to go outside their house. They're afraid to live, but I took I worked to save my life, and I'm going to live it today. I'm going to do everything I can today that I couldn't have done if I was still using, whatever that is. In a couple of weeks, we're going to fly down to see my son in North Carolina. If I was still using today, if I was still alive while I was still using, that wouldn't happen. For one, I wouldn't be able to afford a trip to anywhere from Maine. And the other thing is he wouldn't support me. He wouldn't want to see me. He actually just came back into our lives after, it was about 7 years, but the last 3.5, he is when he found out that, what the extent of the addiction was. And, he blatantly said, "I don't want to have anything to do with you." And then finally, 3 years into recovery, he sees that I'm somebody that's worth knowing, worth talking to. And I'm just happy to be there for him today.
I'm happy you guys get to have a relationship. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it sounds like, you're choosing every day to help others and to recover out loud. And that's amazing. So if anyone has any, stigma or bias about different pathways, think about this. There's a lot of people that are completely sober that aren't doing those kinds of things. And there are people that are completely sober that are doing those things. And, I hope you think about this conversation before you judge a different pathway.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do too, because it's, like I said earlier, we're good people. We are somebody's sons, daughters, fathers, brothers. We care about other people, but when we're using, we don't know how to show that. We're not able to show that. We're not willing, blatantly to do that stuff. But when we get a taste of recovery and see that we can live a life and have relationships and positively affect other people, it's a life I wouldn't trade today for a bag. Before I would have traded anything for a high. Today, none of that I wouldn't give up anything today for that.
JR said that's the beauty of recovery, waking up and living a life worth living.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, I would love to hear more about recovery on the road and just the different things that you're involved in. Recover Loud, the YouTube and you said TV channel. I'd love to hear more about both of those.
Thanks. So Recovery on the Road is a Facebook group that my wife and I started together. My wife, Lori, and I both entered recovery on the same day, November 3rd, 2018. Due to some issues, we didn't live together again for 18 months after that. So in February of 2020, I came home, moved in with her. And, during the pandemic, we couldn't really go anywhere and hang out. So we went out and we rode around the state. We climbed mountains. We went to the rivers. We did things, and we would take pictures and we would share our adventures on Facebook. And as a way to not, bombard our non-recovery friends with our annoying, joy, I started the Facebook group just to share we started the Facebook group to share our journey, with those people that wanted to hear it. And, you know, it wasn't long before people were sharing the group and, you know, joining the group from all over the world, people I didn't know. Um, and it took me by surprise that people would be interested in our recovery journey. Um, but it showed me that people were starving for connection. You know, I've seen that the TED Talk from Johann, uh, I'll forget his last name.
Is it Rat
But
Park?
no, Johann Gary
Oh.
says that connection is the opposite of addiction. And, you know, that's 100% true in my eyes. Because if we can stay connected to people, if we can, you know, connect to resources, if we can connect to other people in a situation like ours, we can work to stay clean, you know, and we can believe it's possible. So, you know, seeing that people were starving for connection at a time when meetings were shut down, churches were closed, you know, it wasn't possible to get together. You know, they started turning to these Facebook groups, and I'm just one of them. Ours is just one of them. But I'm thrilled that so many people around the world can join the group and know that they never have to feel alone. You know, Facebook never shuts down. There's people all over the world that aren't sleeping, you know, all times of the day. So if somebody feels alone, they can hop in the group and they can make a post, and somebody's up somewhere, and they can get that connection, you know, and I'm just happy that we're able to provide that connection. I share resources from around the state, you know, or the country. If people share that with me, I'm happy to share that because people are from everywhere. But, you know, we share resources for people, you know, meeting links, positive affirmations. You know, I like to make memes with the pictures that we take when we go out. So it's really just, you know, that's how that started. And, you know, Lori and I, last summer, we would travel around, do some outreach. And, you know, I bought T-shirts and face masks with our logo on it. And, you know, we would go around and join other groups out there, whether they were feeding the homeless or, you know, doing some kind of clothing drive or something, you know, a black balloon event to celebrate the lives of all those people that we've lost. You know, there's another one coming up on March 6th that we're going to be a part of. And, you know, just making all these connections with people doing wonderful things in recovery. So that's the gist of Recovery on the Road. And as the group grew, and, you know, Lori and I grew in our recovery ourselves, we both became registered peer recovery coaches for the state of Maine. And, you know, I'm actually taking classes right now to go on to certification to be a recovery coach, certified recovery coach. But, you know, it provides us a platform to reach as many people as we can. One thing that we wanted to do was when we found out about the expansion of the Good Sam law coming up to vote, we wanted to create a kind of like a documentary about the Good Samaritan law. And so I went around looking for producers, and I was hoping somebody would say, I love your idea, let me produce it for you. And instead, I found a studio that said, pay me $30. I'll teach you how to use the equipment and you can make it yourself. And at first I said, no way. I don't want to do that, because I thought I'd be limited to my own ideas. And I wanted the message to get out there. But honestly, we came up with the idea for a TV talk show, Recover Loud, where we can bring people on, share their amazing stories in recovery, share the resources that they're offering people, and get information out to people, you know, whether they're in recovery or not. So the show plays on local access TV, Portland Channel 5. It premieres every Thursday nights at 7:00. And we will premiere the episodes as soon as we get them edited up on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Recover Loud. So we do one show a week. You know, that's the plan. That's the goal. We've got 3 episodes on YouTube right now. The 3rd episode is actually premiering tonight on Portland TV Channel 5. And, you know, we just hope to reach as many people to help end the stigma, and get people to support us in recovery, and understand that in recovery we're not the same addict that hurt them. So
Yes, we do recover.
we do recover.
And I saw that Carrie put in the chat. She said, Michael, I definitely relate to you. I lost my son when he was 8 years old due to my addiction. My son was born in Maine. After 15 years, he finally came back home to me in South Carolina last year. He's 23 now. The promise has definitely come true. Don't forget you are worth it. The blessings of recovery.
The blessings do come true. Starting with, waking up every morning, and everything else is a blessing. My wife doesn't agree when I say it, but when I get to do the vacuuming, when I get to do the dishes, when I get to walk the dog, I get to clean the litter box, I could have used and died, and I'd never get to do those things again, So
yeah. That goes back to the talk about being present in recovery, right? And all the moments and all the stuff that we've missed because we were so wrapped up with ourselves, we were so wrapped up in our addiction, and it's the Carl show, or it's the Mike show, or it's the Ashley show, or it's the Brett show. But in reality, what happens is that we miss so much, and now we just have that opportunity to look down at our feet and say to ourselves, you know what, I'm exactly where I need to be right now. And times that might not feel like it for some of us, right? Because we might be thinking, well, do I really need to be here right now? But if you trust that your higher power, that you are on a path and you trust the process, and as cliche as that might sound, right? Because I used to get mad when people say, trust the process. And I'd be like, man, screw you. I'm not trusting in anything. But that was because of my own limitations to myself. I didn't have the ability to see past my own self. I didn't have the ability to see kind of the bigger picture with things. And so now I absolutely trust the process. It's like doing one of those trust falls when you're with all your coworkers, and just, man, it's so beautiful to be able to trust that it's going to be okay, even if you're in your feelings and your feelings are so overwhelming at that time. It'll be okay.
Yeah. And why I got kicked out of rehab was because I was always trying to figure out what that process was. I didn't trust it. I wanted to dissect it and identify it and beat it. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit here for 6 months and figure it out. I want to figure out what the process is and get to the end. I read all the books. I studied recovery. I knew all the cliches, but I didn't get it. And my actions showed the other 16 guys that I was living with that I didn't get it. And, they asked me to leave. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've read all the books. I'm the one talking at every meeting. I'm the one telling everybody what they need to hear. I didn't get it. And then I went into sober living, and it was the same way. I'm the smartest guy here. And they said, Mike, you're a jerk. Hit the road. And, so living in my car, I realized, recovery wasn't just about using drugs or not using substances. It was about making a change and being a better person.
Yeah. It's that lifestyle that we talk about, right? And the recovery lifestyle. It's not an immediate fix to something. This is a way that we have to approach our lives in order to achieve these long-term, long outcome goals, because the road of recovery never stops for us until we stop on that road at some point when God or the higher power decides that we're no longer needed to take this journey, and we can go into a place of serenity and whatever you might believe would happen after you leave this earth. But so it's really I think that scares a lot of people when they come into recovery, though. Like, just the idea that this is going to be something that I'm going to have to do for the rest of my life. Are you kidding me? Like, really? That sounds so exhausting, but it really isn't, man. It just becomes, it's like a habit. It just becomes a daily thing. And, and some days our recovery, we work a little more, and other days, man, we got to work a little bit harder. And some days it's just like kicking back and on the beach and everything else. So, Mike, you mentioned that you have episode 3 coming up on your channel. Can you tell us a little bit about what that episode is going to be about?
Yeah, actually, the third episode that we filmed, it was an emotional one. We have a 20-year-old daughter who lived with us through most of our addiction. She saw all the ugliness. She was neglected. We stole birthday money, denied Christmas gifts. It was a tough life for her, and she finally got to meet a sober version of me at 16. And, she's been a great support since getting into recovery. So episode 3 is actually an interview that we did with Taylor, asking her what it was like to live with parents who were, suffering from substance use disorder. And then how could she turn around and support us in our recovery today? My daughter's an amazing woman. Despite the upbringing that she had, my 2 sons are the same. They're doing amazing things today, despite the upbringing that they had from me. So getting to talk to Taylor, and share that with everybody, and get an understanding for, the addiction itself, and, the disease of addiction. And, then we let her actually ask us some questions, and, she didn't play nice. She was going for the answers that she needed for her own growth, and it wasn't easy. It hurt to explain it, but I'm so glad that I was able to have that conversation with her. She's been supportive since day one, 3 years ago. She's been around for some tough conversations, but these were some questions that never quite got answered. And, it's worth a watch. If you're struggling with how to talk to your own kids about addiction, this might be an icebreaker. It might give you some ideas. I'm in no way a counselor. The show is not meant to counsel anybody. But it gives you one way, that it might work or might help to talk to your kids about it, when they're ready, when you're ready. I was just glad that she was ready to have that conversation and actually give us the opportunity, to share some of the thoughts that went into the behaviors during her 16 years. And I'm just grateful that she supports us today.
It's amazing. I'm excited to watch. Hopefully, those.
Yeah.
You said. I think I know I've said it a lot before. Is I've gotten a lot of healing from family members of, people with substance use disorder, and just it's done a lot of healing for me to be able to work with them. So I mean, it was your daughter, and I'm sure it was hard, but was there a lot of healing? It sounds like.
Yeah. And there's no way to gauge it. But the conversations after, just that, a little bit more free, you know what I mean? We don't have to hide our lives anymore from her. I mean, we've done all the worst things that we could do to her. And same with my sons. An upcoming episode, we are traveling to North Carolina to interview my second oldest son. He's a Marine. His 4 years in high school, he lived with an aunt and uncle of mine, 8 hours away from me. We had moved to the area in Massachusetts. He got onto the varsity basketball team. he was on the football team, and he didn't want to leave when my addiction got real bad and I had to run home. You know, I totaled 4 vehicles in 3 months. I couldn't function in that environment. I had to get back to a place I knew, to people I knew, to people I could honestly take advantage of, people I could manipulate. You know, so when we went home, he asked to stay there. And, you know, that was an option because, you know, we had an aunt and uncle that lived on a lake, you know, with a party boat and a jet ski, and was able to give him a car. You know, he was going to have all the things that I would never be able to provide for him. So we saw that as a, you know, a way for him to get out, honestly, and, you know, enjoy his childhood. And then when we got home, you know, couldn't send birthday money. I couldn't afford to travel down to visit him. You know, he was a basketball star, and, you know, I would listen to the games on the radio online, and I couldn't wait to talk to him after the game, and he wouldn't call, you know? So when we got into recovery, you know, he was still upset with us, and he joined the Marines and went and did his thing. The first trip we took actually in recovery was to his graduation, back in 2019. And then he went off to do his thing and didn't include us in any of it. You know, he went to Japan for 6 months and, you know, came back and got married. And it wasn't until afterwards that he decided to share that with us. But, you know, it was such a great feeling that after 3 years, he was finally ready to share with us that he did that, you know, and say, look, I'm not mad at you guys anymore. I want to get to know you. I want you back in my life. So we're excited to have those conversations with him in an upcoming episode. He was not privy to a lot of those conversations that we had with Taylor early on. So it's going to be different than that last episode. But, you know, I think it's going to be healing for us all in the end when we get to have that conversation with him.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, it's just so great to hear that, you know, things are really kind of coming back together for you, and you know, like we said, the ability to have all of this, you know, work for us, and the ability to be present for these moments, and now we have this ability to reshape our family, to make those connections again, and to really kind of look at things and say, you know what, this is where we took some wrong steps, and we can come back to this and talk about it as adults. We can take responsibility for the things that we need to take responsibility for, and we can start that amends process to start to heal, which is so important in recovery, the healing process that needs to happen and that needs to take place in order for us to move on past everything so that we can, you know, move forward with our recovery. So, Brett, you want to, we're almost at the top of the hour here. Let's take care of a little housekeeping stuff again, and I would like to remind everybody that we are going to be moving. Well, we've already moved to Thursdays, so thank you for joining us on Thursdays. Our giveaway today is going to be is it JR's book that we're doing today?
It is JR's
Yeah,
book, and it's a signed copy.
Oh, a signed copy, and that's not just the signature that has been printed on the front. It's an insided signed copy. Wait, is that right? Insided? Yes. Inside the book is a signature of Mr. Weaver, our fearless leader. So thank you, JR, for doing all of that. And we really appreciate you donating your book over to it. I'm waiting for my copy still in the mail, and as soon as it arrives, I will be viewing it. So I'm really happy for that. That's really awesome. And why don't we take a moment, if you don't mind, Mike? We're going to take a little break here just for a second. And why don't we talk a little bit about the Sober app, guys? Because we have the Sober app, which is going to be releasing on February the 10th. and we actually put a little video together. So Brett, do you want to show that little video right now, and we can give them a few minutes to look at the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll look at the Sober app video, and we'll also congratulate JR on winning his bronze award for, I think it was from the Feathered Quill.
Yes.
So he won another award on this book that you're about to win. So
wow, it's amazing. He's actually won quite a few awards for this book. Is that right? Yeah,
that is correct.
JR, maybe you can mention in the comments, because JR wants his own book. JR, I will make sure that you get your own copy. Don't worry about that, sir. But JR, why don't you make a list while we're viewing the video that we can post up afterwards, so that we can see all of the different awards that you have won for this book. So Brett, why don't you go ahead and we'll show that video. We love the analogy of the yellow pages for sobriety. The Sober app is a safe place that someone can go from any walk of sobriety or recovery to educate themselves. This includes individuals just like you who have walked the path of recovery and succeeded in a life after addiction. Our tracking doesn't just include days sober, but it also includes a 10-to-1 style tracking of how you're eating, feeling, as well as any physical activity that you have done. They are displayed in a graph style of monthly, weekly, and yearly charts, which will allow you to look back at your ups and downs to get an idea of what has helped the most. Each entry you make will include a journal log and an image upload. Our communities are abundant with users just like yourself that can come and go 24/7. You can discuss every aspect of being sober. This could include finding sobriety in college to being a successful professional, or maybe a stay-at-home mom, all without the desire to drink or use. Our bread and butter is our education center. This is where you can find a Rolodex of sections from podcasts, blogs, recovery coaches, YouTube channels, motivational inspiration, fitness, wellness, and much more. Every section will have a variety of content, as well as new content being added daily. These sections and courses are hosted by individuals who are in recovery and who have suffered from addiction in their lives. We have many walks of life, from basic social media influencers to professional counselors, recovery coaches, and even university degree professionals. 90% of our content is in audio-visual format and is made to be visually engaging. We also just launched a new platform which will allow access to our classes, where you can discuss in live format with our podcasters, recovery coaches, fitness coaches, authors, and other professionals. Be sure to check back with the Recovery Revolution Live channel for more release date information and how to download the Sober app. All right, guys. So if you guys want to download the Sober app, the release date for that is going to be February the 10th, and we're going to have more information about that. And we might even be able to ask Curtis if we can have him jump on the stream next week, because next week's stream on Thursday actually takes place on February the 10th. So we might be able to allow him to come on and help promote the app a little bit, which I think would kind of be cool. The other thing that we have going on right now, and Brett's going to throw a slide up again for you guys, is that we are now able to host a message format that's a audio format. So if you guys would like to leave a short message for us, and we can potentially play the message on the air, we are also going to use this new format to do a ask section, and you guys will be able to ask us questions, and then we'll be able to answer those questions for you. So again, if you want to check out that link, we will have a description, and we will have the link in the show description below. So if you're watching us after the live stream, just go onto YouTube, and there's going to be a little arrow that you push down, and that's going to allow you guys to get to all of those links that we're going to have over the next little bit. And yeah, so really good stuff coming in. So Brett, why don't you tell us a little bit about what type of how can they go over to this new site to leave us a message?
Yeah, sure, man. It's really simple. I'll throw that graphic back up that
Yeah.
has the URL. So all you have to do is go to speak-2.us/RRL for Recovery Revolution Live. And it's a really simple format. So it's going to pull up the screen, and there's going to be a big record button. You click on that, and you start talking. And when you're done, you hit the stop button, and you send it to us. You have the option to put your name on there if you want your name, or if you want to be anonymous, you can leave that blank. And you hit the send button, and we get an email that says, "Hey, we just got a new voice message," and we can check those out. And hopefully, if you guys have questions for us or the guests, since we do post on social media about who our who our upcoming guests are, if you have a specific question for that guest and you're not going to be able to be on the live stream, but you still want to be able to ask that question, you can send us that voice message, and we can hopefully play that on the show and get that question answered for you.
Yeah, and one of the other things that we're doing on the show is that we're trying to come up with different ways to get you guys engaged and have our viewership go up in the show. So one of the things that we were talking about on a roundtable when we all got together and we're discussing this was the idea that we could do a call-in segment as well. So we're going to be setting up a phone number that we are going to have specific guests or people that we're going to be calling in, and then we can actually do a live session with them through the power of technology, and we're going to have a call-in section. So I think next week we actually have our first call-in section that I'm going to be doing with one of my viewers from the Drunken Worm podcast, and she's going to be coming on to the show via her phone, and she's going to be talking to us a little bit. So keep your ears and eyes out for that. We will also have a Google form set up on the website where you guys can apply to have to be part of the call-in section. And what we'll ask is that you guys leave a question for us to answer, and then we're going to give you a call back on the show live, and you can ask your question, and then we'll hopefully be able to talk about it with our guests, talk about it amongst ourselves. And that I think that'll be a really cool way to try to drive some engagement for you guys on the show. And again, we're really proud of everybody for sticking through it. We have 11 live streamers right now, and actually quite a few of them are doing it on YouTube. So we really appreciate you guys coming on again and sticking with us tonight. So
yeah, and JR left the list of awards if we want to go through those.
Yeah, let's.
There's the first. It's in 2 different comments. That's how many awards he's won. It wouldn't fit in one comment.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Yeah, so that's your first one, the Royal Dragonfly Award in 2001, the TCK Publishing Reader's Choice Award in 2002, the Feathered Quill Bronze Award. That's the one that Ashley just mentioned there. And these are the other ones that he has here. The 2020 International Book Awards finalist for Health, Addiction, and Recovery 2021. The Titan Silver Award, American Writing Awards winner. So JR is a very good writer. This is a very popular book. And if you guys would like your free copy of the book, just go ahead and leave that hashtag Addiction Manifesto in there, and that will automatically throw you into the drawing to win this book. And JR, thank you again for making that donation on your book, brother. We really appreciate it.
Well, and before we draw the winner, I see, Mike has to get going. He's got some things he needs to do. So I want to thank him for being here, and I want to give him a chance to say anything he wants to tell anybody that's listening.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, honestly, I'm just really grateful to be invited onto the show tonight, for a chance to recover loud, to share some hope, to share a bit of my story, and to share, some of the good things that are going on in Maine, We have the expansion of the Good Sam Law coming up. We're really hopeful for that. The way it is now, it's saving lives. Some people are taking the chance to call, and people are living, but we need to save as many lives as possible. And, that's why I do everything I do. I'm hopeful that, shows like this, shows like mine, are going to make a difference. And I just appreciate you guys bringing me on. Recover Loud is on YouTube, Recovery on the Road Facebook group. Please join. If somebody's struggling, please reach out and, find that connection that you need, so that you can get through tonight and try again tomorrow.
Thank you for Recovering Loud.
Yes, thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And Mike, you like us, your goal out there is to really just kind of help people along, man. And Brett and I have always said that we started our podcast, and my whole goal was to reach one person, man. And in a short amount of time, now I co-host a live show with two other amazing people on here, and I get to meet amazing guests like you. So just keep doing what you're doing, brother. And the gifts are going to keep on coming in, man.
I agree. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here, and make sure you let us know what happens with me and expanding Good Sam.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. If it doesn't pass, we're going to, right away, we're going to keep fighting. I think there's only 47 states right now that have a Good Samaritan law. I think there needs to be a federal standard for Good Samaritan law. People should not be criminalized for using substances and trying to save somebody's life. This is an issue for every person in every state across the country. It should be a national thing. We need to stop giving up on our brothers and sisters and fathers just because they're suffering from a disease. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a great night. I appreciate you bringing me on the show.
All right, Mike,
Thanks
take
so
care.
much, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for those of you that are streaming with us, don't leave yet, because we still have the drawing to do, which we're going to go ahead and do. And, all right, guys. So, wow, what a show, man. He was really cool, man. I really liked having him on. So I'm going to tell my truth to the people that are watching and streaming with us. I missed probably about 1/3 of the show. In the background, I was texting these guys, and my computer was freaking out on me because I think it was when I was trying to upload that video, and I don't know, man. But yeah, so I missed a little bit. So but really good stuff tonight, man. It's been a great day. How was your guys' day, man? Has it been good?
Good, man. Good. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a Texas blizzard, so I did not go to work today. And as you can see from the background, I got a little bit of unpacking done, so it's been a very productive day for me.
Yeah, public storage has moved out of your room.
Well, not completely, but there's still some that's a little bit off camera that you can't see.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's still work to be done. It's progress, not perfection.
That's right. That's right.
I've had a little bit of a rough day. It's been a frustrating day, but
yeah,
I'm going to tell you, the worst day and the most frustrating day is not anything compared to even the best day of active addiction. So
that's right.
I'm all right that I had a rough day.
Yeah.
It's not a rough life.
Yeah. That would just be amazing, I think I was talking to JR last night, and we made that same comment, like, I'll take my worst day today over any of my best days back then, because they really don't compare anymore. And we call it Cadillac problems, right? Gold-plated problems. I don't mind having gold-plated problems.
Ian's offering to buy us lunch and supper if we change our time to 9 p.m. Eastern instead of 8 p.m. Eastern. I want to know what these meals look like.
Yeah, Ian, what are you offering us, man? Because we will work for food, or at least I will.
We're in recovery. You get people to do what you want when you bring food to the table.
Yeah, exactly, man.
And just before he makes that offer, I'm going to let him know that my doctor has recommended that I only eat steak and lobster. So just going to throw that out there. I do have some dietary restrictions.
Yeah, that's right, Ian. We have lots of dietary restrictions here. Just know that before you get into the thing here. And guys, thank you very much for posting those hashtags. We are letting not all of you Lobster or Burger King. Probably not Burger King, but if you want to do Red Lobster, oh goodness, I'm so glad that the person from Maine is not on the stream right now as I talk about Red Lobster, because I think that is like a big no-no. If you talk to somebody from Maine, they're like, red what? But yeah, Ashley, what do you have any dietary restrictions that you would like to let you know about?
I like chocolate and I like food.
N-
And I'm not going to be bougie like Carl. I'll take Burger King or lobster.
Brett's the bougie one tonight. I mean, look at that chair he's sitting in. Dude, what kind of chair is that?
It is a Techni gaming chair.
Mine's
what?
Mine's a gaming chair too.
Oh,
It's just you can't tell because it's gray and black.
yeah.
But they're rated for longer sitting time and with work and then school.
Really?
So like a regular office chair, they have like 4 to 6 hours rating. And like gaming chairs have like 8 to 10, sometimes 12, depending on.
Oh.
Yeah, so let's keep this stream going for another 9 or 10 hours.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm down. Right, I just finished with Shane, and that episode's going to be going up pretty soon. Brett, what do you have coming up for your podcast, man? What's going on this week for you?
Well, yesterday I released my episode with Ashley, which is an excellent episode. We're trying to beat JR's number, so give us some support and listen to Ashley's episode.
It's so good.
Yeah, and then coming up on Wednesday is going to be episode 100 of Recovery Survey.
Nice.
So it's going to be a little bit different of an episode than a typical one. You know, usually I have a guest on and we do a little interview, and this one is going to be a compilation. I did kind of like the what's it called, where we're asking people to send in the voice messages and questions. I set up something similar to that, and I sent it out to a bunch of previous guests and people that follow the show. So I have about, I can't remember the exact number, but I have about 25-ish messages from different people that have been previous guests and fans of the show. So put those together, and then a few other little things. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be a really awesome episode. And, you know, I'm still kind of blown away that I made it to 100 episodes. I'm sure my wife is too, because I'm really good at starting a hobby and then forgetting about it a few months later. So glad to be a part of the recovery community and try to like our guest was talking about, you know, try to recover loud and be able to spread that message and let people know that recovery is possible.
Yeah.
Because, you know, just like Mike was talking about in the beginning, I didn't know anything about recovery. I didn't know where to find those resources. So I want to be that person that if someone is struggling, they can reach out to. And I know just from people that have messaged me on Facebook, that I've been friends with on Facebook for years, you know, people that I didn't even know were struggling have sent me messages, and that just lets me know that I'm heading in the right direction, and that I'm recovering out loud and letting people know that it is possible. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's that's so awesome. Congratulations on your 100th episode, and congratulations to Ashley to being the 99th episode. That's like, I think that's such an accomplishment to have your 100th episode. I mean, I was stoked at my 20th episode, so I don't know what my feelings and emotions are going to be when I hit 100, but you know, I will. And yeah, man, so it's going to be amazing. I think we should do a live remote. JR, can you get us into a live remote in Vegas? Thank you.
If you haven't checked out his 99th episode, since me and JR are in competition, you know, please listen to it, because JR's won a lot of awards. So he's okay not winning this one.
Yeah. JR, you don't always have to be first.
And if you only just listen because I'm a girl and you want a girl to win, like, I'm okay with that. I'll take it.
Yeah, and you can listen multiple times to help Ashley.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got a show coming up, and it's with my really good friend Jennifer. She's a nutritionist, a wellness expert, a life and recovery coach. She also is a yoga instructor, and she does a lot of work with recovering addicts straight out of rehab. She does a lot of work with people in long-term recovery and helping them reach their life goals and also recovery goals. And so she came on to the episode, and we've put together a whole thing of courses and one-on-one sessions that are at 12% off for my viewers. So keep your eyes and ears open for the Drunken Worm podcast episode coming up, which is going to be releasing on Friday. And that episode is number 23, and it's called Do You Get My Drift? Because we are doing a play on words against relapse drift and the drift that happens after the new year. And where do all of our goals go? Right?
So
How many of us?
I'm a fan of 23. Does anybody know who 23 is?
No. Is it a band?
That Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Oh, Michael Jordan, MJ.
And I'm not even a sports guy. Come on.
I want to be
Carl.
like Mike. Yeah.
There
come
you
on,
go.
Carl.
Episode
God.
23.
Good job.
Superstar.
Ian, help me out here, man. They're ganging up on me. Quick, send us a lobster. So okay, man. So do you want to do the drawing, Brett?
Sure.
Do you have our little drawing music?
A drum roll is what I need.
A drum roll? I will work.
Yeah,
I'll work on getting
instead of my
drum
game
roll.
show music. I need
put
to
your
get
game
some
show
drum
music
roll.
Yes.
But until we get the drum roll, this music will just have to do. So let's see. Let's hit the magical draw button. Yeah, well, I wanted something that's kind of a throwback, man. I grew up watching Game Show Network and watching the old game shows, so there's something nostalgic about it, man. Deal or no, not Deal or No Deal. What's the one with the whammies? Price. No, not Price.
No, Double Dare.
No, it's not Double Dare. Where's that one? No whammies. No whammies. No whammies.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah.
We have a winner.
All right, we have a winner.
And it is Michael's daughter, Taylor.
You are our winner. Congratulations.
You won the signed copy of JR's book, The Addiction Manifesto. So get with us after the show, and we'll get your information and get that over to you.
How does she get with us after the show? I'm just curious.
Well, we do have those fancy new email addresses.
Oh, yeah. Oh, are those live yet? Do we have our real email addresses?
Yes.
Oh, Ashley is saying yes. Okay, so we have our own email addresses, and we will be providing those in the show notes also, Brett, just FYI there. And so if you guys want to email us, if you want to email the show, let us know how we're doing. If you want to send us,
the crowd is demanding electric kazoo.
Yes. Oh, and the electric kazoo. Yes.
Thank you, JR, for setting up our emails, by the way.
Yes, thank you, JR.
Mine is Ashley at recoveryrevolution.org, I think.
There's a dash in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a dash too. But he's going to type it. I was just saying.
Mine is Carl at what is it?
Recovery-revolution.org.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, it's really simple. It's everybody's first name at recovery-revolution.org. So
send us a message.
Recovery-revolution.org. Ashley at recovery-revolution.org. Carl at recovery-revolution.org.
Okay,
let us know something you liked, something you'd like to hear about, something you'd like to learn more about, or that you'd like us to talk about.
Absolutely.
Or something you'd like us to not talk about more that we talk about too much.
Yeah. So, and also, I want to also mention that we are going to be starting a new way for you guys to sign up for your birthdays. And that is also going on the website, which will be part of, yes, thank you. Do not encourage him, Chrissy. Thank you so much. So the birthdays are now going to be changed over to our website, and we are building a Google form. So if you want to submit your birthday, you can do it on the Google form. And then each month we're going to go through that list, and we're going to start plugging names in for our birthdays. And are we doing birthdays today, or are we doing that next week, man?
We're not doing it today. I have
Okay.
not received the January list just yet. So hopefully
Okay.
by next week, I will receive that and put together a little video for everybody that celebrated in January.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. So
And
yeah, so we'll be.
if you didn't remember to do it, you still have a little bit of time to get your name on that list if you did celebrate in January. So no
Yeah.
dilly dallying. You got to get on there quick.
Yeah.
I haven't
Exactly.
gotten cake yet, so I can't celebrate. When I
haven't
get cake,
either,
we'll all celebrate
JR.
big for January.
Yeah. January. I have a birthday in February. It's my belly button birthday on the 27th.
My daughter's birthday is the 5th this weekend.
Really?
Oh, my daughter's
Happy
birthday is
birthday
the
to your
15th.
daughter. Wow. February's strong in the house. Look at that. Strong. Going strong. Bunch of Pisces. Well, wait, is your daughter a Pisces, Ashley? No, she's not a Pisces, right? So I
don't
think
know.
Pisces is like in the middle of the month. I'm a Pisces because I'm at the end of the month. So
I don't know.
Brett's
What's the
daughter is
first one?
Pisces.
Of the
I don't
year?
know.
I'm a Capricorn from December.
Yeah.
But I think Capricorn start like the 23rd. So there's one between. I don't know which one it is.
Yes. Uh-oh, we are getting bombed here. What is this recovery survey episode? Ashley Grimes? I don't know what that's all about. I don't know. Wow, look at that. From the Recovery Survey podcast. It's
trying to help
fantastic.
Ashley out.
How many am I behind JR by right now? Still like 1,000 or more.
Let's see. Give me just one second.
Yeah, what are your stats there, buddy? So while you guys are doing that, I'm going to tell a little story because I was talking about it being a really long day. And so I was on my interview with Shane, and we just got done doing our little warm-up session where I got to tell him, like, I'm so excited because I'm like geeking out on you right now. And so I hit the record button and I start doing my intro, and I'm like, welcome to the, and dude, my brain froze. And I started to say the Recovery Revolution live stream. And then I went in and I was like, wait, is it the sober guy? And this was all going on in my head. And I ended up having to hit the stop button on the record. And I just smiled at him like, dude, I don't even know what podcast I'm doing right now. Like, it's all running together for me. So yeah. The sober writer. That sounds ominous. Who's the sober writer?
I do not
I wonder,
know, but
what do they ride?
back to the question. Ashley,
Oh, yes.
you're
Thank
currently
you.
1,500 plays behind, so you got
Wow.
a little bit of ground to make up.
A little
I
bit
need
of ground.
1,500 people to listen
Yeah.
to this. So
Ash-
if you don't think your listen matters,
It does.
your listen matters.
Yes.
All 1,500 of you. And your best friends and their best friends and their children.
If JR wins, is he going to add that to his list of awards when we talk about his book?
Probably. He'll probably rub it in every time he talks to me.
Oh, you know, you're 1,500 views behind.
He's not like that, really, but I'm just giving
I
him
know.
crap.
JR, we love you, man. Are you still with us? The sober writer, man. If you can please put a chat in the little box there, I would really love to know what you ride. Are we talking about like I'm guessing a motorcycle? Maybe a horse. I don't know.
Oh, it's the sober
Curtis.
writer is Curtis.
Oh, Curtis.
Ah.
Oh, hello, Curtis. Curtis, did you see the commercial that we ran for your app? Everybody, we have Curtis, who is the what is Curtis? Is he the founder, the CEO? I forget what his title is, but he is in charge of the sober app, right?
He's the big dog.
He's the big dog over at the sober app. Yeah, Curtis. Oh, sorry. Okay, awesome. Curtis approved. Yes. Okay, wonderful. Curtis, what do you ride? Are you a motorcycle rider? I'm curious where you got that name, the sober rider.
Ian says moped.
Moped, yes, Ian, with a lobster basket in the back for his belongings. Michael, thank you very much for being on the show. An electric bike. It was really a pleasure having you on, brother. We're just having fun right now. Sober Mafia, J.R. Weaver. That guy's crazy. I don't know if you've ever talked to him before.
I took one of those quizzes on Facebook this week, and
Yeah.
it told me that I should be a mafia boss. Like, it's like that profession that you should have done. And it said that I was supposed to be a mafia boss. So,
Oh yeah, yeah, I saw that. A mafia.
sober mafia boss. Like,
La
maybe it's kind of
Familia.
the same. The
Yeah.
Bills Mafia,
Yeah, right.
Buffalo Bills.
That
I
sounds
can see
pretty
that.
intense.
Hey, can we-
there from
can we-
Curtis? His explanation of his name.
Oh,
Or,
you
he
rode from Seattle to
Seattle to
Yosemite on a bike?
On a bicycle, yeah.
No,
Pedal bike.
Okay, yeah, I get it. A bike, a bicycle, same thing. But I think he was not just like a cruiser bicycle. I mean, was it, Curtis? This is getting
I would assume
interesting.
he was like a hardcore cyclist.
I bet it wasn't an
Lightweight
electric bike.
Carbon frame. Maybe he had the aerodynamic helmet.
Yeah, the one that swoops back. That like, dude, those look like the Star Wars ones that those guys would wear when the Death Star would like destroy something, and they had those. It swooped in the front and it swooped in the back. Super aerodynamic for destroying planets.
Good stuff.
See, when our
love Star
guest
Wars.
leaves, just the kids get yeah, absolute mayhem.
It's a good thing they don't see the chat messages we send each other.
Right. So glad. Oh, I'm behind on those. You guys don't realize we have like 3 chat rooms that we have to maintain while we're doing this show. And Curtis, tell the truth, it was a scooter. Yeah.
Yeah, we have the chat rooms that we monitor on here, and then the Facebook Live and the YouTube, but we also have like our text message chat and Carl's in California and I'm in Florida, and then Brett's like in the middle and JR's on the East Coast too. Well, like Eastern time. So like, Carl likes to answer at like 2 a.m. and
yeah, but he doesn't reply until late. I'm like, dude, it's like lunchtime. He's like, I just got out of bed, man.
So
it's 10 o'clock here. I just woke
messaged
up
at 6:30 in the morning, my time when I'm on my way to work, as just to keep it real.
Yeah, no, they don't see the private chat, JR. Don't worry. We're not going to show them all the BS that we talk about you. Oh, Miami. Ian, you're from Miami. Wow. How do y'all keep it together with all this text? Man, Bruce, it's hard, brother. These guys, dude, I look at my phone and when I haven't been on the chat, it's like 48 chat messages, all from Ashley. And just kidding. Oh my gosh, you're so sensitive. Yeah. It's
JR
crazy, man.
still on that group chat? I never hear from him.
JR is still on the group, dude. He just posted.
He silences it sometimes when we get ridiculous. He's like, I can't deal with these people.
Yeah, right. We are his illegitimate children.
I don't know about that. No. I think he likes to sleep more than we do. And
I get that, man. I love sleeping, dude. Especially on the weekends. I don't wake up until 10:30 or so. Like, man, screw this, you guys. Yeah.
I don't think Brett sleeps a lot either. I think he's
no.
Me and Brett are not
child.
big sleepers.
Brett's not going to sleep very much.
I do not sleep.
JR said he had to turn off his chat notifications because of all of us.
Exactly.
I look at my phone at like after work and there's a crap ton there, and I'm like, then I see that it's on the one message, and then I might have like 3 or 4 other ones,
right.
And then I'm okay. My anxiety calms down, and I know everyone's okay. That it's just Carl has an urgent request that he needs of us, or he has. Wasn't that you
Carl
that said urgent request or something today?
Wait.
Oh yeah, what did
Carl
he
had
say?
another idea.
It was something that was really He did send something that was urgent.
Oh yeah. No, it was about sending out the invites so that we can get more live viewers. We had 15 today at the max, or maybe even 19, I think, at the max today, guys. And that's more. Yeah, bougie. That is for sure, JR. Thank you very much for pointing that out.
We're gonna
but
change your email address to bougie at
Bougie at
recovery-revolution.org.
please. Can you
We
just
have a very different idea of urgent. Just
That
for the
was
record.
Right.
it was urgent. We needed all of us to do our part.
And
Okay.
you can do your part by tapping on the subscribe button.
That's right. Hey, do we have a little subscribe button on there, or is that
No,
going to be
I thought-
next week?
I thought you were doing that. You said you were going to do it.
I have an urgent request that you put a subscribe button and get that together.
But
Carl had
but
one
once-
job.
Hey, once we hit 100 followers or subscribers on YouTube, then we can change our URL and make it easier to find.
Yeah,
You can
and
find us instead of random letters and numbers.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's really important, guys. For anybody listening right now, please go over and subscribe on YouTube. It's really easy to do. You just go over to Recovery Revolution Live, and you're going to have your little subscribe there. Please do not forget to subscribe. It's so easy to do. Bruce, thank you for the support, man. We really love you guys, man. It's awesome to do this show. And I'm glad that we moved. And I don't think we lost anybody that was viewing. In fact, I think we gained a few more. So our new nights on Thursday. So Brett, why don't you tell them a little bit about who we have lined up on the show coming up? Who's coming on next week, man?
That's a good question. Let me pull up our shared calendar that Carl never uses.
I haven't.
Sorry, Carl, I had to put you on blast a little bit because you're always
That's
texting
okay.
me. Who do we have on next? Who do we have on next? I'm like, just open your calendar, dude. I put everything in there for you.
You just gave me the link today, and now it's lost in
I
the
sent it to you a
No,
You're
couple
gonna-
no,
weeks
he
ago.
sure didn't. He gave it to you about a month ago
Well, I did. Where did you put it? Did
in
you
the chat.
Oh my gosh! No,
And
You looked at
your
it
email.
twice because you
I
told
know I
us who
didn't.
was on it.
Oh,
You
wait.
definitely looked at it.
did I?
Yeah.
Oh,
So next week is going to be Jason Rudine. So that's going to be a good one.
okay.
I
The
don't
Way
know who
Out
booked that one.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason. I don't know Jason. And when I was on his podcast, he wasn't one. It was God, who's the other guy that does it? That sounds kind of like Rush Limbaugh. There's two hosts on there. Jason's one of them, then the other guy. But the other one is the one that I'm familiar with.
He hasn't invited me on his show, but I did meet him in Las Vegas, and Jason's an
Where-
amazing guy. So I'm
where are you
excited that
guys-
he's going to be on.
Where are you guys going in Vegas, man?
We went to
JR's
Mobilize
mentioned in
Recovery.
Vegas? What Mobilize? Oh,
Yeah,
What
that
is
was the part of the third of the show that you missed because your computer was messing up where we talked
Uh,
about Las Vegas.
Okay, yeah. I was downstairs getting a piece of ham.
A piece
I
of
thought your
ham.
computer was messing up and you were restarting.
Yeah, I know. It had to reboot. It takes like 5 minutes for it to reboot. It's ridiculous.
You're talking about his name is Charles, is the other host on the show.
Charles. Yeah, Charles. Charles is really cool. I like Charles. Yeah, cool. And then who do we have after that, man?
After that, we have Bipolar Barbie. She is
Bipolar
from
Barbie.
Australia.
I love
Yeah,
that.
and
dude.
she wrote a book about mental health, so that should be an interesting one. And she has a fun accent.
I like accents, and I downloaded her book, so I should have it read before the episode, hopefully.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to
And-
get JR's book read at some point.
Yeah.
I've read his
Bruce.
book.
Bruce is saying there's a time delay. Yeah, on YouTube there is about a 5-second delay on there. Hopefully the echo. If you're using both apps, then you'll have an echo, Bruce. Just view on one. But we are going to be moving solely over to YouTube eventually, where that is going to be the only place where you're going to be able to view our show. We will, however, have the links on our Facebook accounts and the Recovery Revolution 100 Facebook page. So for those of you that are still joining us on Facebook, you will be able to view the show, but the link that you click will be taking you over to the YouTube site. So just keep that in mind and don't freak out if it's not what you're normally used to seeing if you're viewing us on Facebook. So we're making that move, just FYI for you guys. And
Was that in the chat that I missed? Because this is new information to me. I didn't know.
It was an urgent matter that you did not attend to.
I obviously didn't get a vote either.
We're
Brett.
doing we're doing a test run.
yeah, we're gonna do a test run, see how it
Okay.
goes.
So the option might be there to still have this in the future. We
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
but they'll still be able to get to us through Facebook. We're not going to lose our Facebook subscribers. It's just when they click on the link for the event, or however we post it in Facebook, it'll just externally take them over to YouTube.
Also,
So-
Ian, I see in the comments you said that we should get Nikki Six on here. I'm curious if you have a way for us to get in contact with Nikki Six.
Yeah, Ian.
Let's arrange a meetup.
Yeah, and Ashley. Do
I don't know Nikki Six.
No, I'm not even.
I'm
Okay.
sure JR does.
JR does.
I'm sure
Oh,
JR
wait.
does.
Ian says absolutely.
Nice.
Okay, Ian, contact us and let us work our magic.
Or contact Nikki and
Yeah, ask her if she would like to be on the show.
Ugh, her.
is it Nikki?
Or
No,
him.
yeah, no, the rocker.
Oh, Nikki
Male.
Six. That Nikki Six.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Book.
I was thinking of
Yeah.
somebody completely different.
Yeah, we're not
Wow.
getting Nikki Six anymore. Thanks, Carl.
Who do you know, Carl? Since you ruined that for us.
Well, I was
Nikki
trying
Sixx
to
was
get
the basis
the
for
pro-
Motley Crue. Come on, Carl.
Anyways, look, I'm from California, so
Yeah, so you should know celebrities. Come on, man.
wow.
Demi Lovato, you know her. Who else is in California?
Did you say Jimmy Lovato? I don't think I know him.
Okay.
But Ashley, do you have your connect for the anonymous people? Are you gonna try to maybe swing a little magic and get somebody from that documentary on?
I don't know that. Like, I have the connection that you think. I've met him twice.
That's
Maybe
okay.
he'll do a favor for recovery. I don't know that it would be a personal favor for me,
Okay.
but both of them
We can
are
always
amazing.
Yeah.
Tim Riley and Greg Williams.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wish we were great friends and talked every day. They're
Yeah.
cool people, but
Well,
I'm not that cool yet.
Yeah, Bruce said he can put some calls into the band members of Kicks. Also, Jeremy Jackson from Baywatch. Which one was Jeremy Jackson?
That I don't know the answer to, but at least I'm not going to.
'Cause I used to watch Baywatch.
I'm not going to insult Mr. Jackson.
We have Donald McDonald coming up soon.
Yeah, Donald McDonald. Shane Ramer's coming on the 3rd.
Yeah, and then JR said that we just got someone for. Oh, there's too many comments. Oh, Marshall. He was at Mobilize Recovery too, and I think he's from Maine too. I could be wrong.
That
If I'm
I
wrong,
don't know
please.
about.
Oh, Hasselhoff's kid on the show.
But
Oh,
yes,
the kid.
Marshall actually booked
Yeah.
his appointment during the show,
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
during
awesome.
the live stream. I got the notification.
Ian, if you have any contact information for these people, or if you want to try to set up a thing for us to go in and pitch the show to them and see if they would like to come on, please email one of us and we will work our magic. And maybe you can do a little handoff and say, hey, these are the folks, and it's cool that they email you, or I don't know if they want to give us their cell number and have us text them, but yeah. Oh, Tanya, welcome.
We'll have our people talk to their people.
Yeah.
JR
Exactly.
said Maine is rocking the recovery scene. They're doing big things up there. Yeah. Me rap.
Okay.
They're awesome up there.
And
Ian,
Ian says to please email him first. I
Okay.
don't have Ian's email address.
Yeah, Ian, we don't have your email address, but we can. Do you
You
want
could
to
email us at one of
Oh,
our new
there it is.
emails.
I'm not going to put it on the
Oh.
screen, but you did it
Sorry.
anyway.
No, real quick. I took it down. Yeah. Sorry, Ian.
He can email one of us at our new email addresses, and then we could email him back.
Yeah.
That's how that works when someone emails you.
Wait, what?
We said we have his email address. It's right there in the
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah.
I'm about to take a screenshot so I don't lose it.
Yeah.
Oh no, the
Ian-
comments are moving. People are
Okay,
commenting
everybody.
too fast. I got it. I got it.
Wait, really, JR?
His
Did you
email
make
address
my
is bougie at Recovery Revolution.
Well, Brett is the responsible one in the group, so
I don't know about all that.
well, you keep track of the things that we need keeping track of. So
I
you
Yeah.
screenshotted that email address, and we'll ask you about 5 more times, and you'll provide it for us each time we ask.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry. I'm
That's
gonna
how
say
this works.
It's an urgent matter, Brett. It's an urgent matter.
Yeah, like 4 in the morning.
Ian, put it back in. Thank you, Ian.
I got you, Ian. It's on
Yeah,
live, man.
yeah.
I'm the
Ian, you have a lot of
responsible
like in your picture there. You have a lot of framed items in the background. It looks very very official.
He said, "Yes, sir."
Okay, good. I'm glad.
It
He's
looks
official.
like he wins a lot of awards like JR does.
Yeah, Ian, are you an award winner like JR is? And JR, do you have your awards on a wall on a wall like that?
And if you were a guest on Recovery Survey, do you think you could get more plays than J.R. Weaver?
Yeah, Ian, that's a really legitimate question right there.
But first, you'll push Ashley to get more than him,
Yes.
so that a girl can win going into the 100th episode, and then after that, in the hundreds, then the next person can beat me and win.
And my wife's the responsible one too. She also took a screenshot to get Ian's email address. So look at that. I got backup.
Look at she's so good.
Man.
His wife is awesome. I mean, I don't really know her at all, but from the stories he tells, she seems awesome.
Ian, I think Brett is extending an invitation to have you on his Recovery Survey podcast.
As long as you can beat JR. That's the only requirement.
Ian,
You don't even have to beat him, just tie him.
I have no requirements to be on my podcast, but I would love for you to email me at bougie at revolution.com. Apparently is my new email address. Thank you, JR. And
I hope he really sets that one up too, and it just forwards to your
please, JR, just freaking do it. That would be great. And just forward it to my yeah.
You're the one that told us it was your nickname.
It is my nickname. My really good friend Michelle calls me Bougie, and all my friends in school called me Bougie when I bought my new car.
There must be a reason that's your nickname.
Yes. Okay. It's so much easier if we email Ian first. Brett, can you send me that screenshot? Thanks.
Sure.
He'll ask you 5 more times.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll text you at 2 a.m. and ask you to. Hey, did you send that email?
Or in the middle of the day.
I send it to every email.
Okay.
For you.
He'll do it either in the middle of the day or the middle of the night. It won't be like a convenient time.
No, not at all. Ian, I will be emailing you. I don't know if it will be tonight, but if not tonight, by the morning. So yeah, I'll send that email over so that you can have mine. And if you're looking for my email, it is info@ thedrunkenwormpodcast.com is probably the email that I'll be sending you from to invite you onto the show to talk to my listeners. And and Brett's distracted again. Shiny things, Brett. Shiny things.
It's my baby. She woke up and she has a crazy bedhead.
Oh,
Ian, don't worry. He'll email you at 3 a.m.
Ian's
to check it about 4.
Ian's phone. No, don't worry, because at 3 a.m. that's going to be 6 a.m. for you, so you should probably already be up.
No, you do it at 3 a.m. our time, Eastern time.
No, I didn't. When?
You always send messages in the middle of the night, doesn't he, Brett?
He does, but I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, so I don't see him until the morning. So
my phone's always on vibrate. So
yeah, my phone's always on Do Not Disturb. Yeah, right now.
Just like earlier when Carl texted me and my phone was still on Do
and
Not
called
Disturb
you 4 times in a row.
It was urgent.
What if it was? It was an urgent matter.
But what if it was? Boy that cried wolf.
12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Oh, okay. Fantastic. Good to
And
know.
Brett and Carl, especially Carl, likes to talk in memes. And I'm like, I'm not following. Can you use your words? Like,
There
want me
are
to do?
words in the memes. There are words and reactions. You have to learn how to read memes. JR, can you help me
But
out
sometimes
here?
they're just kind of out of the blue, though.
Well,
And I have no idea what you're trying to say, and I'll
Okay. Look,
misinterpret it.
who
It's a bougie thing.
it's a bougie thing. Who doesn't like a cute kitten that raises its paw up to its forehead and says "sup"? Okay, apparently
makes a
neither
valid
of you.
point.
Wow.
He makes
I'm sure it's great, but I just, I never know if you're trying to speak in code or if you're
Oh,
just sending
no.
me a pretty picture.
I'm sending you a pretty picture. I'm not trying to speak in code. I only do that with Brett. He understands me.
And we're not going to talk about it on the air.
Yes, no, that's for an off-air topic. That's our after show from the after show. So, all right, guys. Well, Taylor, again, congratulations. Sorry, we've been rambling on here, but we just love hanging out and having fun and everything. I'm going to be bougie. Oh, that's great. I'm going to be signing off.
You just noticed.
I did just notice. And I'm grateful for today. And just remember, your guys' recovery is the most important thing out there. And please don't let anything or anybody stand in the way of your recovery. You can recover, but just remember, it's a lifelong journey that we are on.
Yeah.
So,
Progress,
all right,
not
guys, I'm
perfection.
signing off. If you guys want to stay on the stream, you can. We got 6 viewers on. Ian signing off too. So
We're going to get off, but I'm going to let Brett say his line because he was trying to
and
say it.
don't we have to put our banner up for that, Brett?
We don't have to put the banner up, but I'll go ahead and put it up. Look, it's us.
Yeah, that is us. And
different pictures.
Yeah, that is us on. And if you don't, yeah, there you go. Recovery Revolution Live, and then we also have this one that you put up there too. Yeah. So Brett, take it away, man.
Yeah, but that one's not really updated quite yet because that just has the Recovery Revolution page and my website. So,
okay.
No shout out to the Carl
to the
podcast.
Carl show.
Yeah,
Okay.
Carl show, Carl's Corner.
Yeah, Carl's Corner.
So, like Carl said, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are trying to get to 100 subscribers so we can do the cool custom URL and make it easier for people to find us and help spread the message of recovery. The audio version of tonight's broadcast will be available in about an hour or so, and it is unedited and raw and beautiful. So if you are interested in that, you can search for Recovery Revolution Live on your favorite podcast player. Carl has a new episode of The Drunken Worm coming out tomorrow. I have a new episode of Recovery Survey coming out on Wednesday. And between now and then, please listen to Ashley's episode and help surpass JR's number so that she can win this new competition that I didn't know they were having. And remember, guys, progress, not perfection. We'll see you again on Thursday.